Hello, and welcome to today's Embodied cooking class, the first one in April. I'm very excited. We are going to be making a citrus refresher pasta from my book, Good Enough, which I shared in the newsletter this week. And this is really a favorite because it is so simple, and it feels like really unlocking something really exciting. There's something about when you can do something very simply that just feels like, oh my gosh, now this can really be a part of my life on a regular basis. And that is so life changing. That's how I feel about like really simple recipes to me are the most deeply exciting. So let's get into it. But before we begin, let's do a few rounds of Samavriti breath. If you hear some noise, I'm actually boiling some water so that can be ready for the pasta. So I can just hurry that process along so we're not sort of waiting for water to boil. But let's begin with some Samavriti breaths, and that's the equal breath. That's where we try to create a balance between the inhale and the exhale. So I'll start us off with a count of 5. Let's inhale to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause at the peak and exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's do 3 more on your own. I feel great. Highly recommend this breath. Do it for a few minutes at a time. And really focusing on it. It slows down the mind, just brings you into your body so you can check in and find a little bit of peace. Okay, so let's, hands at heart center, let's think about what our intention is for this class today. For me, it's to share this beautiful recipe with you and just be with exactly what we need to be. For me to radiate whatever it is I need to give you so you can come toward me with whatever you need and give yourself what you need. Okay, let's begin. We heard the water boiling, so I'm going to just hit that quickly. And it won't probably be quite enough in here, so I'm just going to add some cold water, get that going. All right, so just got a smaller amount of cold water in here. Set it on high heat and add quite a lot of salt. And I'm going to add this just boiled water, all of it in here. And so hopefully, this shouldn't take too long to come to boil. So that's my little tip for you today. That is actually my ex-husband's very smart tip. He used to always boil the water for pasta, and it makes it go faster. So highly recommend that. Now we're going to start on our little sauce, which is Very simple. I'm going to take this medium, I have a really big bowl, which we're going to use to mix the pasta in a little while. We're going to use this one for the sauce. Yeah. So the first thing we do is we are going to zest each of our citruses. And I have a lemon, a lime, and an orange here. A big ol' orange. That's what we're going to get the most from. And you must, I'm sorry, but I do insist, you must revel in the process of zesting your citrus. You simply have to. You must smell it. You must feel the way that the moisture comes away from the zest, the way that the oils blast into the air, and the way that it feels on your hands. You must appreciate the beautiful colors. Because it's a miracle. It really is. And I can feel all the little sprays of the oil on me right now. And the reason you must do this is because it will bring you joy. It will make you feel grateful for this bounty that we have, that we get to have because we're alive and we live on planet Earth, where we have this and where our bodies require us to eat, to live, and we get to mix up with pleasure so that we are being told by our bodies what is best for us if we really listen. I think we have that belief, right? I think we're told that, and because of things like addiction, and that we can overdo it with things that we like. We think that things that we like often are bad. Like, oh, I like that too much. But overall, actually, when something feels good, just like a relationship or an experience, when it really feels good, that means it is good for us. It's just that we get confused sometimes, I think, about what things that maybe feel good for a time. And then we begin to not notice when we start to feel bad. It's like when something simple like overeating, right? It's very easy to do. It doesn't actually feel good. There is always a moment where it stops feeling nice. But we have all learned to rush past it, or to be doing so many things at once, or just to lose contact with ourselves so that we don't notice those things. But our body is always telling us what is good for us feels good. Now we have our bright yellow sunshine lemon. And now the green, or lime, a little less ripe than the others, I'm noticing. You can feel it. Might get a little less juice. It's incredible the difference, like they're so similar and yet they're so different. There's something sharper about the lime. Something just a little bit brighter. There's a little bit more sweetness in the lemon. Something more round. I don't know, what a weird way of putting it, but like something more round about the orange. Yeah, like there's something about the lime that is the most spicy. Oh, I wonder if that means we're boiling already. That is great news. We are boiling already. Fantastic. So I'm going to take some spaghetti. I think in the recipe for this amount of sauce, we would want to use a whole pound, but I'm not going to eat that today. So I am just going to grab, I don't know, maybe half of this, slightly less even, maybe a third of this packet to cook up today, and I will show you how I sort of decide how much I'm doing, but know that the sort of general ratios are for a pound or so, and that'll feed 4 or 5 people. But you're going to make it work for yourself. Okay. All right. Do my spaghetti, and it goes. I'm going to hit the timer. This package says 11 minutes for al dente, which is what I want. And you know, spaghetti does this cute thing where you have to take a minute to get it fully in. Okay, there we go. Where you sort of have to add it halfway in, and then it smushes down, and finally you can get all the spaghetti inside under the water. Okay, so there we go. We have 10 minutes now. There is more than enough time for us to make this. So here's our beautiful citrus zest. All the colors. And then we are going to juice these guys now. Oh, let me see if I have my citrus reamer. I often just squeeze it by hand, but it's a little more efficient. So I'm putting this strainer in here to catch, particularly the lemon always has these big seeds. So I'm just going to juice this and let the seeds and the pulp and everything just fall in here, and then I don't have to worry about it. Whew, getting a little bit of citrus in my hangnail area. Ouch. Part of the experience. Not the best part. Okay. Lemon. Lime. I'm not sure this is going to be producing. Oh no, it's okay. Still a pretty good amount of juice happening here. Good. Sometimes these unripe ones, or if they're a little dried out, can just be really lacking in juice, which is kind of disappointing for us. And I would say if you're looking for tips for like how to choose a ripe citrus, there's a sort of, they're like a little heavier. It's like you can feel each of these little pockets is full of juice. Each of these little pockets, like the flesh sort of all sticks together in these little, it's like little cell houses, you know? And when they're really ripe and full of juice, they're a little heavier. Like each of them is so full of juice. And so you can kind of feel that. There's like a slight softness to the outside and a heaviness. But I know that's like, it's subtle. It is. It's not the easiest thing to choose ripe fruit. And in particular, like citrus is not easy. I think things like peaches are nice and easy. It's like, oh, they're just a little soft. You got it. Whew. Okay, the orange is juicy. Lots and lots of orange juice here. And this is nice, you could choose to really make this your own by kind of really mixing around the quantity of each of the citruses. I just sort of do this 1-1-1 ratio, which of course creates a lot more orange juice because oranges are so much larger and juicier often. Well, not necessarily, but they're larger and they're also the sweetest thing. So we're getting a lot of the really sweet citrus and then less of the really sharp, which I think creates a really excellent balance personally, which is why that's what I've offered to you. But you should follow your own instincts and experience. Or even try this with different kinds of citrus too. Some of the more unusual citruses that we can sometimes get, if they're available to you. Okay. So I'm just kind of squishing that out, squeezing that out. We've got some pulp in here that just is holding some juice. And we are really spent. We have used these fully. And there's something I love about that. I love when I'm able to really use the juice and the zest completely. You've fully gotten everything you can out of these beautiful fruits. Now I compost them, give them back to the earth. Okay, so I'm gonna just set this beauty aside. And then I couldn't find basil, as the Americans call it, must be called basil. Here in Canada, we call it basil. We don't worry too much about it. But so I got chives. That's what we're using today. You could do flat leaf parsley would be fabulous as well. These sorts of, the kind of herbs that you can use a lot of and it's not so overwhelming. But yes, lovely chives. They're flying up at me here. Look at that big old pile. It's a lot. But I think chives are so lovely and mild. It's going to be great. Okay. And next we have a bunch of olive oil, about a cup. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I think I probably need to use like basically what's left in this. Wow. I'm going to give it a little whisk. See what that looks like, and then I'm going to taste it. Oh. Ooh, it's emulsifying. That means that something with water and something with oil are coming together. It'll probably break up again. It's very satisfying. Oh, that works. Okay, let me taste it. Oh, it's so good. But it needs a little salt. So I'm actually going to add in I have Parmesan actually today, but Romano or Parmesan. And you could use a coarser grind, like the crumbly kind is really nice for this actually. Honestly, I'd probably prefer it. I just grabbed this and didn't think about it. It'll cling to the strands of spaghetti a little bit better that way, I find. Well, let's go with this. Okay, so we got our cheese in there. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Get my whisk out. And I think this is probably good. Let me just taste it. It's so intense. Like the citrus is so intense. I'm going to add a little more salt. Even though we have that salty cheese in there, we don't have any other salt in here. And we are salting the pasta itself, but it's still, you know, we want to balance the sharpness of the citrus with saltiness and with sweetness. I'm going to add pepper as well into here, and then we'll probably add it into the in with the pasta as well. Oh, yeah. Oh, this aroma of the black pepper. I love it so much. Yeah. I'm kind of happy to show you something that comes together quite quickly like this as well. And this is a point where, so this is it. This is our sauce, and we're going to get our pasta. That's it. As you can imagine, there's so much more that you could add in at this point, like any sort of veggies that you have around. I actually have some sweet corn that I might add into this later. I'm going to just do it straight up, but I could add in sweet corn. You can always add in some garlic if you like. It does tend to kind of overwhelm the other flavors, so I don't like to do it raw. You could saute some peas, some like all the kinds of things that are starting to pop up out of the ground at this point in time, you know, like the snap peas and all that kind of beautiful stuff. Give it a quick saute, and then throw it in, or try it raw with this. That would work as well. More maybe like soft cheeses or something like goat cheese could work. All right, thank you, timer. All right, I think this is good. It's feeling right. So I'm going to get this over here, move everything aside. Safely. I'm going to just pour off most of the water here. I'm just holding on to just a wee bit of the pasta water, although I probably won't actually use it here because we have so much slushy sauce. Yeah, I'm just going to use a wee bit of it. There we go. Now you could do this on the heat as well, like right back in here. But I'm going to do it here for your sake right now. And now I'm going to add in maybe a third of this, because like I said, I'm not using a whole package of spaghetti. Oh yeah. The aroma. Beautiful. Yep, that looks like a really good amount. Really slushy. I think it's actually a little more slushy than we want it to be, so I'm going to add in some more parm just to kind of thicken things up and allow it to coat the noodles a little bit more. And some more pepper. Oh yeah. over, my friend. Where are you? I put you over here. This is what happens sometimes when you're in the habit of cleaning as you go, and then you get too efficient. I do that. Oh my gosh, beautiful. I'm really excited. I'm going to try one. I'm going to try two. So good. I'm going to get a bowl because we're done. That was it. Here's my bowl. Oh. I'm going to do this whole thing. This whole bowl of noodles. I may not quite be able to finish this, but be aggressive with it right now. Oh my gosh. And if you have leftover sauce in the bowl or here, it's such a nice, I mean, it's an amazing dressing. It's such a great dip for vegetables. So good with any other, do a different kind of pasta or just keep it and have it again for another night. This will stay so well in your fridge for 2, even 3 weeks probably, covered or in a nice little jar. It's absolutely magnificent. I am so excited for you all to try this. Because it's that thing where when you get the salt right, all of a sudden the citrus is just like, it's not overwhelming. It's not painfully sharp. It's just this salivating, beautiful celebration of like being alive. There is something about citrus that is so enlivening. You got to try it. You got to experience it. And look how pretty it is. The subtle colors now over the spaghetti. And you know what? To be really embodied as we are practicing brings out the greatest enjoyment of eating as well. I haven't talked that much about it because usually we end sort of before we eat. And I want us so much to focus on the experience of creation and to build these sort of new pathways in ourselves to notice how fun that can be. But of course, eating is a joy and we want it to be. And the more embodied we are and the more we've created the experience of being embodied through our cooking practice, the more we will actually enjoy our food. I don't make the rules, it's just a fact. Just letting you know. So thank you so much for joining me this week. Next week, I'm actually going to be away in Canada, but I have pre-taped a wonderful cornbread recipe for you that I will share. And I hope you enjoy that and let me know any other requests that you have, anything you're interested in. As always, please let me know, chat with each other. I want this to be really our experience together of learning and growing. So that means you need to participate. Thank you so much. Mwah! Until next time.